Hi Year 11 and welcome to your fourth example on interpreting graphs. So the next type of graph we're going to look at is a line graph, and these are graphs that has data that changes over time. The below graph for this question shows the changes in home loan interest rates during the 1990s. So when we're dealing with any type of graph, I seem to always make this mistake in line graphs like this one, is checking what our increments are. So that is 1 year. So for each line represents half a year. Then as we're going up, the in-between is going to be 3, 5, 7, and so on. So I always try to just look at that and make sure I understand my increments before I go in and answer questions. So for A, by how much did the interest rate drop between 1989 and 1998? So if I find 1989, which is this line here, or this data point here, and 1998 is here. So this is going to come across to about here, so this is going to be 17%. Now remember, you can't draw in your textbooks, but you can use a ruler to help you. Now this one falls just below, but we're just going to say it is anywhere from 6.5 to 7% is fine. I'm going to say 7% though. So to find the drop, I'm going to do my 17% minus my 7%, which is going to equal a 10% drop. For B, it's asking us between which 2 years was the drop the greatest. So I'm just going to put some circles around where I can see I have steep drops. I'm not going to bother doing this one here or this one here because I can see by looking at them they're not as steep. So this is 16.5%. This one is 13%. 10.5, and this one here will be 10%, and this one will be 7%. So I'm just doing this so that I can quickly work out where my biggest drop is. So to go from 10 to 7, that's only, down 3%. From 13 to 10.5, that's down 2.5%. And from 16.5 to 13, that's down 3.5%. So when we're looking at our decreases, I would say between 1990 and 1991 is the biggest drop. So between which 2 years? 1990 to 1991. C, between which 2 years did the interest rates increase? So this one's a little bit easier because there's only one spot where they increase, and that's between 1994 and 1995. So I'm just going to write 1994 to 1995. So we've got Anand borrowing $120,000 in 1989 to buy a house. So we're going to say 1989, and he's borrowing $120,000. If the flat rate of interest was used, how much interest did he pay in 1 year? So we know from earlier that 17%. So what I want to do is I want to find 17% of the number borrowed. Not a dollar sign. 17%. So to do this, I'm going to take my 120,000 and I am going to divide it by 100. And what this does is it's going to give me what 1% of that amount he borrowed is. I want to find what 17% is though, so I'm then going to multiply that by 17. So if I jump on my calculator and I put into it 120,000 divided by 100, I'm going to get 1,200, and that's just for 1%. Then I'll multiply it by 17 to get the interest paid as $20,400. All right, I'm not going to do E. You can do E in your own time. So borrowing the same amount, but in 1997. So you want to find out how much interest she paid and then how much more she paid in that year. All right, that's it for this example. Remember to keep on watching to see all the examples for different graphs.